Everyone, would you please stand and say the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I haven't done this for a while, so here we go. I'm Barb Lewis, President, and to my right is Jeff Benton, our Vice President, and to the left, our fellow Commissioner, Garrett Merrill. We have our Administrator, Tracy Davies, and Don Euston, our Assistant Administrator, and our clerks, Jennifer Walraven and Sarah DeNova. And Sarah, you may begin.
Resolution number 22-01, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held December 27, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-01. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 22-02, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch numbers CMA PR 0112 and memo transfers in batch numbers MCA PR 0112.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-02. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-03, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-03. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-04, in the matter of canceling the Commissioner sessions scheduled for Thursday, January 27th, Thursday, February 3rd, and Monday, February 14th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-04. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-05, in the matter of acknowledging receipt of annexation petition from the agent for petitioner Andrew P. Wecker requesting annexation of 23.398 acres of land in Troy Township to the city of Delaware.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-05. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-06, in the matter of approving an advance of funds for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is our annual request for an advancement of funds, as these three projects are all cost reimbursable. So it's just to make sure that we have the funds available to go ahead and pay for those programs.
okay, thank you. Any comments? All right, vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-06. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Resolution number 22-07, in the matter of approving an amendment to the license agreement by and between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Highland Software Incorporated.
So moved.
Second. That's fine. Commissioner Lewis is second too, I guess. She's got to get in the groove here.
I
doesn't she?
know. Yeah, I was doing all right, but then, okay. Go ahead, Steve, thank you.
Yep. Good morning, Commissioner. Steve Lewis with the Data Center. The county currently has an agreement with Highland Software, or you may have heard it referred to as OnBase, which is our enterprise imaging system. And what this amendment will do is allow us to provide imaging services to those townships that we provide shared services to. So basically, it extends our end user license agreement so that they can utilize the same system without having to make that big investment.
Which townships would then be using this?
Right off the bat is Genoa. That's going to be the first one.
Okay.
And then I know Orange Township has expressed an interest in. There's been some early discussions with Liberty, but probably not as far down the path.
Would it be open to future townships who become shared services?
Certainly with this agreement, it would allow that.
Any township in the Delaware County?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we would need to modify their IT services agreement, or
sure.
or if we're not currently doing services for them, if we would do a new agreement, we would include that in there, because there is some additional fees so that we can recoup some of the investment that we have and share in that cost.
So there is an increase for the townships that we do add?
Yes, and you may recall in the Genoa Township agreement that we did what was that, the fall of last year. Within that, we did have a provision in there that if they elect to go to the on-base imaging system, there is a fee for that, and it's established in that agreement.
Okay, so we get reimbursed.
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah, it's really good for the townships.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, again, shared services in general, but data processing shared services in particular, a really good partnership.
Right. Any further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-07. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve.
Resolution number 22-08, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for adult court services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Benton, Lewis, and Merrill. Administrator Davies. Mark Taglione, Chief PO, Adult Court Services. The Department of Rehabilitation and Correction has approved an additional 5% allocation of funds for our PSI grant. Therefore, an additional $9,504 will be generated to our already approved amount of $190,000 for a total award moving forward for FY 22-23 to $199,504. The additional funds are to be used for compensation of staff under that grant. I respectfully request that this supplemental appropriation be approved.
Okay.
Thank
Any discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-08. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for the work you do, too.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Pass that on to staff. Thank you.
Resolution number 22-09, in the matter of accepting a donation made to the Department of Job and Family Services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Oh,
I guess I just wanted to, I don't
Yeah,
see
go ahead.
Bob here today,
I don't
but
see
I wanted to thank all these organizations that do this year
Yes.
in and year out. Really helps a lot of the folks, the clients of JFS, and they're all very generous and do it for, have done it for years, so I want to thank them.
vote.
That's all I got.
Vote on motion 22-09. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-10, in the matter of amending a procurement card for the Facilities Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. We would like to amend Randy Armory's procurement card to increase the limits. Quite often, he's purchasing large items for replacements to HVAC pumps and that type of nature, where he can use the P card to make those purchases.
Any discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-10. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thanks, John.
Resolution number 22-11, in the matter of accepting roads, establishing stop conditions, approving recommended speed limits, and releasing securities for Clark Shaw Moores, Section 4, North Lake Preserve, Section 1, and North Lake Preserve, Section 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. We have several subdivisions that were built in 2020, completed, and through the one-year development maintenance period at the end of last year. And so those streets are ready to go on the public system. This resolution would add them to the public system and start township maintenance on these.
Okay. Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-11. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-12, in the matter of establishing maintenance bond and releasing construction bond for Liberty Grand, Section 5.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So these streets were just recently completed, and so this action will place those on the one-year developer maintenance period, release the construction bond, and then we'll probably be back in about a year to accept the streets.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-12. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-13, in the matter of approving a work agreement for Liberty Grand Boulevard drainage remediation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is a small area of Liberty Grand Boulevard that needs some remedial work done. The rest of Liberty Grand Boulevard is done. It's been inspected and ready to go on public maintenance, but for this small section that we've kind of separated out and taken a bond for this work to do the remedial work when weather allows.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-13. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-14, in the matter of approving owner's agreement for Gregory Road, County Road 96, improvements in North Star Press Brick Road.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This work will actually involve the, basically cutting off the access from Gregory Road to Cheshire Road. It will put a cul-de-sac on Gregory Road as part of the abutting development, Pio Meadows, being developed by D.R. Horton. And so the access to Gregory Road will now come from Pyatt Road through the neighborhood. And then basically this sets up the permanent condition once the railroad grade separation bridge goes in on Cheshire Road. So we're moving ahead with this, but there'll be ample access for all the residents and neighbors on Gregory Road.
Okay. I wondered if that was what was being done with this
Yep.
particular project, so that makes sense.
Further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-14. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-15, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract between Double Z Construction Company and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, sorry, for the project known as DEL-TR6 FRA-CR21 Lizelle Road Culvert Replacement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
You may recall this is a joint project we're working on with Orange Township and the City of Columbus. There's a large culvert and then a smaller storm sewer on Lizelle Road. This is Old Lizelle Road, just east of Route 23, that there was a failure in the large culvert, and so we worked with both the township and city to basically repair or replace both of those, I should say. And so as part of the longstanding policy we've had at our office, we assist townships with their culverts, with the cost of replacing those culverts. And so we've already received a commitment from the township for their share. We would basically pay everything in excess and split that cost with City of Columbus.
How close is that to our southern boundary going into Franklin?
It's right on the line.
That's-
Lizelle Road, the center of the road is actually the township, or the county
Okay,
line. Yeah.
so I knew it was close. Wow, okay. Thank you.
I would add we were very pleased to see the bids came in under our estimate, about 17% under the estimate. And so I don't know if it's just good luck or timing, but we were able to get a pretty good price on this one.
Is that project done now, in terms of the Lizelle Road being open all the way through?
I don't know if it's completely done. I don't know if Tracy would have to pick on you. I'm sorry.
I think it's close.
I think it's getting close
Okay.
too, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to have finished.
Yeah, it sure wasn't last time I was down there. Okay, vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-15. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-16, in the matter of approving the plat of subdivision for Secluded Acres CAD.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is a small subdivision located off Rutherford Road. It's met all the, has all the required county approvals, and so it's your turn as commissioners to approve the plat.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-16. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-17, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
These are just routine utility installation permits. I think there's 7 and nothing out of the ordinary on these.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-17. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-18, in the matter of approving a right-of-way acquisition services agreement with Fork Acquisition Services Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We will have quite a few projects this year that we're going to need some help with right-of-way acquisition services on. That will include coordinating the appraisals and then meeting with property owners to settle those right-of-way parcels. So we've worked with Rourke Acquisition Services a number of times before. They do really good work, and so asking for your approval to
move ahead with this contract.
Okay. Further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-18. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-19, in the matter of declaring necessity to improve Cheshire Road and South Galena Road intersection and approve a professional services agreement with 2LMN Incorporated for the project known as DEL-CR72-7.50 Cheshire Road and South Galena Road intersection.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
So this intersection is commonly known as 5 Points. It's at the intersection of Cheshire Rome Corners and South Galena Road. Five-legged intersection, very close to the 36-37 interchange. And so we've identified this intersection as one that's going to need to be upgraded in the future. And really, we're trying to get out ahead of this one because once development starts along kind of the east side of 71, once it starts coming, I think it'll go fast. And so we're, again, trying to get ahead of this one, make some upgrades to that intersection. Very, very likely that we'll be looking at a roundabout at this intersection to keep traffic moving. And so we've selected 2LMN through a QBS process. We've worked with them before, and they do a really nice job. So we'd like to move ahead with an engineering contract to start the design of that project. And again, we're out ahead of this. I don't anticipate going to construction or doing anything in the field within the next few years. I think we're probably 4 years out from really thinking about putting a shovel in the ground. But again, this is one we want to be ahead of and have the plans ready to go when it's needed.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a very odd intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an awkward intersection,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's good.
Oh, yes. Further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-19. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-20, in the matter of approving a memorandum of understanding to the collective bargaining
you, Rob.
agreement currently in effect between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and the International Association of EMT and Paramedics Local R7-11 NAGE-SEIU.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. What you have in front of you is a MOU between the county and the union that represents EMS in regards to a temporary memo in regards to uses of sick time. I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
And emphasis on the word temporary.
Temporary.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-20. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Jeff.
That brings us to administrative reports.
Just wanted to report out that I've had the opportunity to meet with several elected officials in their offices over the last few weeks. I've met with the auditor, the engineer, the prosecutor, the treasurer, the recorder, several of the judges. They've been great conversations, hoping to continue to meet with other offices as well. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we did kick off our weekly construction meetings for Bixby with Gilbane and their team members. So those are happening on Wednesdays at 11 weekly. So we'll keep you updated on that project. And that's all I have today.
Great. Anything from?
I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Oh, this is great. Let's see. How about Commissioner Merrill?
Did you flip a coin or just mentally flip a coin or what?
Oh, just my keen judgment.
I do have a couple things to mention today. And first of all, I'm going to talk a little about the new year, but let me get a couple things out of the way first. A memo went around for the county employees regarding stay home if you're sick, and I don't think we can say that enough. Stay home if you're sick. It's much safer, and I think everybody feels more comfortable. And frankly, I experienced that earlier this week. I was a little under the weather over the weekend. I deliberately did not come in Monday, although I felt fine because I knew I didn't sound right. And I think we're going to get through this pretty quickly. In my belief, everything I read says this Omicron is a very quick moving, and it's going to be behind us fairly quickly. And I think my hope is that we come out the other side in a very good situation. A couple other things. Liberty Township had their groundbreaking for the administrative building, which was attended by a pretty good crowd and pretty good weather, all things considered. Commissioner Lewis was there, as I was, and George Kaisa, and our treasurer, Don Renke. And I know they're very, very excited about it. I happen to live in Liberty, so I guess indirectly it affects me a little more than the others. But, and as George Kaisa does, he also lives in the Liberty Township. But I can tell you the trustees are very excited and looking very much forward to this. And I think the phrase we've used before in some of our buildings, the old administrative building was tired, and it was time to do something. Commissioner Lewis attended the Finance Authority, so I'll let you talk about that in your comments.
Okay.
I know there's some swearing in last night, and with that, I'd just like to make a couple of comments. It's a new year, and we're kind of meeting late in the year, but I think it's still a good time to just kind of look back, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes and do that with your blessing. This county, we've done really great things, and I think it doesn't hurt to stop and take a deep breath and stay there. I'm not going to sit here and start enumerating all the things that we've done, but we, the commissioners, our past administrator and our new administrator going forward and our assistant deputy, and all the other electeds and all the other employees in this county, we really have set the stage to continue our growth into the future. And that's not done because of one person, it's done because of everybody. And even people who aren't directly involved, whether it be the Finance Authority and other groups, they've all played a role in that. We should all be very proud of that, and we can't say it enough, and I don't think we should take it for granted. We had a great year in 2021, all things considered, but now we're going to look towards 2022. Our passion for this county, sometimes we lose track that people sometimes may disagree with a particular approach, but we should never lose sight of the fact that we all have a passion for the county. Our goal is the same, is to move this county forward, and we should allow for disagreements without making it personal and to the benefit of this county. And sometimes I think we forget that in our desire to continue the progression this county is on. But we need to respect everybody's opinion. We need to be supportive of an honest discussion, and then trust those in position to make that decision on a particular issue, that they're going to make the right decision. So I don't think it hurts to remind us all of that. I want to say thank you to the 1,200 employees in this county, approximately 1,200 employees in this county, who day in and day out come to work, do great things, and have done it in a very difficult year with COVID, et cetera. Thank you. Thank each and every one of you. And I think you've heard us say that many times, but I don't think we can say it enough. I also want to say thank you to all the nonprofits in this county who have played a role in helping those underserved areas in what has been a difficult past year. This is a unique county in the sense that there's always somebody willing to step up and make a difference for those in need. And thank you to each and every one of those groups. You can't say that enough. We're in the process of rebuilding our infrastructure. Tracy mentioned that in her comments. We, commissioners sitting and administrators and dozens of other people have been involved in trying to transition this county to where we are because of our growth. We're approaching 220,000. We've grown 22, 23% over the last 10 years. We are in a better position today because of the decisions a lot of good people have made, and Bixby will be an extension of that, and really will kind of complete our facilities. That's kind of the last big piece. I mean, there'll be some small pieces, and we're excited about what that's going to bring to our county. It's going to make us much more efficient, much more effective, and much easier for the community to work with. I'm proud of our Finance Authority. I think they've done great work in the past, and I know they're going to do great work in the future. And I'll let Commissioner Lewis talk about the officers and who's been elected and going forward. And lastly, I've been asked, and I'm sure each of these two people to my right have been asked, when are we going to fill the economic development position? And my answer to that question is, we are going to take our time, we're going to get it right, and we're going to make sure we get the best person for Delaware County. Whatever time that takes, it takes. Making a quick decision does not benefit anyone, And I will use the example of our county administrator. We took our time on that, and we think we got a good victory there. We're gonna get the same result here with Tracy leading that effort. It'll take as long as it takes. There's reason to believe you can trust the commissioners to get us there, and we will get you there with the help of many support people. And with that, I'm done.
I think that comes from a movie, doesn't it? It will take as long as it takes.
If I stole a line, I apologize. It wasn't intentional.
It will take as long as it takes.
Yeah. Commissioner Benton.
Yeah, it is really good to pause. I won't reiterate everything that Commissioner Merrill said, but it is really good to pause, particularly in the first meeting of the year, and thank everyone, the elected officials, their offices, their employees, the offices, the departments that we have, do a phenomenal job, often under very difficult circumstances. This past year is an example of that. And the whole community pulls together to make Delaware County a really special place, and it is. The nonprofits, the businesses, the public sector. There's just a whole lot of people that make Delaware County such a unique, growing, vibrant community. And so I agree. I think it's great to pause and reflect on that, and thank everyone for all their efforts. And we've accomplished a lot last year. We'll accomplish a lot more next year and the year after, and we got all sorts of really neat plans to address this growth in a smart manner, and that's what we're focused on. So anyway, good to pause and reflect on that. I have a couple other things. The Land Bank has a meeting this afternoon at 2, and one of the items we're going to work on is this demolition grant program that the state has initiated. There are some properties around the county that jurisdictions have expressed an interest in applying for grants through this program. Land Bank is required to be the lead entity on this, so we'll set up the process because those initial grant applications are due by February 28th, and so we'll get that going hopefully this afternoon at our board meeting. The state capital budget is moving along. So for those nonprofits in particular that want to apply for state capital budget funding through the state capital budget grant program, can do that through Representative Carfagna or State Senator Andy Brenner's offices. The applications need to be in, I think, mid-March is the absolute last deadline. I think their offices would like to have them sometime in February. But anyway, we'll continue to assist on that. Participated in an ARPA discussion call on Monday, and the final rules came out from the Treasury in terms of what's eligible and how to process, and so on, reporting, et cetera. And despite the final rules being finally issued, there's still some debate over what exactly is eligible and how to go about it and so on. So anyway, we're relying on Tracy and Eric, our staff attorney, to figure that out, and then we'll develop a plan on how to actually deploy those funds. It'll be a variety of uses that we've talked about. And they'll be put to very good use and so on. So anyway, and then lastly, I have to congratulate the University of Georgia, national champions in football. So anyway, great game Monday night. They beat Alabama. So anyway, it was great fun.
Great.
I was a big Georgia fan Monday night.
Yeah. I would congratulate the Buckeyes too on the Rose Bowl. Oh my gosh.
What a game.
Woo, quite a game.
Well, the Sooners also won in San Antonio. If we're going to start congratulating everybody, don't forget the Sooners.
Who did they play?
Played Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
In another school that you're familiar with, I think they failed to beat Oregon earlier in the year. So
Yeah.
let's point that out.
Well, and thank you for saying, hey, let's just pause a minute and look at all the good that's been accomplished in this past year.
And we could have spent 20 minutes doing it, but try to summarize it.
Well, but it's good idea to stop and to look back. You did a great job as president, and so I hope to carry on that tradition. And I had it was a great conference call right at the end of the year with the head of United Way and also the executive director of Bridges Community Action. And both are just vital to helping people who need the help. And that could really covers the gamut, and of course, with the activity that United Way is doing with the federal dollars that we've been able to pass along to them, and we're in constant contact with what they're doing. And so it was great that they got to share the ideas and say, oh, well, this is what we do, and now do you need help here? And, you know, it was just a great discussion. It was supposed to last a half hour, and it lasted like an hour and 15 minutes. And so I felt really good, because that's the first time that we have a fairly, well, I guess he's been there a couple of years now, actually, the executive director of Bridges, based out of Marysville, but he had never had the opportunity to meet Brandon Feller from United Way. And so that was met on Zoom. So that was, it was a great discussion. And also mentioning economic development, I do want to thank our interim economic development director, Rob Platt, for carrying on. And he's been working hard, as has Zach Dooling. And one of the projects they've been working on is with United Way and the dollars that we are going to be receiving, because everything is accounted for, and that's our responsibility as well as United Way. So we're working on that, and they are working on that, and I thank them for all that they're doing. The Finance Authority last night, a new member, you remember Mike Fromer? Well, he was elected actually treasurer last night, and I had the pleasure of swearing him in, and also Kent Schaefer. And Bill Bishop was reelected president, Kent Schaefer vice president, Mike Fromer is the new treasurer of the Finance Authority. And the groundbreaking was great over at Liberty. They are very excited.
Very excited.
And as they should be. It's really, they definitely need a new township hall, having been in the old one, which is really like a house. I think it was a house. Anyway, and the bond funding too is being provided through our actually finance,
County.
authority. But anyway,
And Don Rinke spoke to that last night.
and he did,
Yeah,
that's
yesterday-
right. He
yesterday
did.
morning.
Right, yes. Through the treasurer's office, and then the finance authority. And so, anyway, it was the groundbreaking, and also being able to swear in those two members and see the finance authority and all that they are, you know, really 8 years, it was mentioned that they have been around. And they're really at a new level right now. And that's all I have. So we do have need for executive session, though.
Yes. Resolution number 22-21, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-21. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We're now recessed into executive.